Declaration of sovereignty. Validate and break any valid contract agreement made by myself, anytime, any place, or anywhere across all time and space and dimension, as well as any treaties or contracts considered to be off-world and interdimensional, or a part of serving the controller mechanism, a negative alien agenda. I remove all consent to deception, harm, enslavement, entrapment, or control of my living being, my physical body, the ethereal body, electromagnetic body, through my consciousness and 12th dimensional blueprint of my avatar Christos. Any previous contracts or perceived consents through form of covert or assumed consent is completely nullified and made void, forbidden, and banned. Any pre-incarnation contracts by any description are all here and now made permanently null and void as a result of gross deception, gross violation, trickery, mind control, black magic, occult practices being used without my awareness or consent. No contract I have signed or agreed to, either in writing or as an assumed tactic agreement, as concerns incarnations in any way, shape, or form upon the earth is valid regardless of any perceived amount of time and space, physical, dimensional, or otherwise, has transpired since the original contract or agreement was begun. No previous consent or contract given if done under duress or harm as a result of deceptions. And without me being fully informed of the possible outcomes is now considered null and void. Any such things as listed above are being done or ever were done. Any of those acts occurred without my consent and are considered deception and are voided and nullified. All tactics and presumed consent by me for any act of doing done by any other person, entity, or being that affects my consciousness and God's self, and dissension in any way that is perceived as negatively harming or controlling my free will or self-determination and personhood, is hereby now permanently removed and challenged, denied. It is denied to any beings or entities unless the current contract or treaty has been negotiated with me personally, in any person, being, corporation, government, religion, entity, machine, or consciousness that wishes to have a contract or agreement with me, my living being, my physical body, my consciousness, must do so in complete transparency and truth, with every single piece of consent explained in full detail, with absolutely no missing information or obligations left unstated or unexplained, must be written and spoken out in full as my full consciousness approval and white ink signature. The public notice is now given and stated, hear me now. All Luciferian and satanic entities and AI hybrid collectives playing the anti-human and anarchist war game, you are now served an irreversible and irrevocable notice of permanent eviction. The criminally insane, self-appointed overlords of humanity, corrupt leaders including the negative alien agenda and its controllers and minions, any entity, corporation, government, cult, religion, machine, or person allied in any way with any of these groups are similarly given this permanent and irrevocable notice of eviction and termination in access to my mind, body, and consciousness, now through love. In the most gentle and loving way possible, please restore human freedom and sovereignty to all human beings on this planet. As we seal our command in the light of truth, unity, and wholeness, reclaim the sovereign right of all living beings to be restored to all natural laws in all grid systems, planetary networks, and within the law of structure governing all organizations. We have permission to represent, through the power of authority of God and Christos Sophia, through the quantum spaces, through the inner space-time, and through the outer space-time influence. Permanently and completely, that we have permission to represent here today through our Guardian Project, which is in alignment with the Cosmic Sovereign Lord and our families of Christos Sophia as the avatar of Christos and the light of God, the I Am. We choose to represent human freedoms and God's sovereign power. In this universe, we ask that these words represent and support all of those human beings who are unable to speak, yet generally wish spiritual freedom in their hearts. Beloved God, beloved guardians, God's sovereign free family of the eternal light, please witness our declaration as God would have it be. Please amplify our prayer request through the timelines in all spaces and places where human beings have been held or are being held captive and enslaved. This is our declaration of freedom from all control and authority structures that interfere with human free will and self-determination by inciting malicious crops to divide and conquer agendas against the populations of the earth. We hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal and that they are endowed by their Creator with certain initial rights. Among these are life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness.